Hello, everybody. This is your moderator, Eric Short, for Ballside Middle Zoom podcast. We're here with the Brooklyn Tech engineers, and I want you guys to start introducing yourselves. And let's start with you, Gil, and the year that you played in school.
Anthony Gill. I played from my junior year, 1977, through June 1979.
Okay. All right, Les.
That's another man. I played on that bullshit ass team in 1976, 77.
All right. Somebody's got a microphone on.
Huh? You don't hear me?
Yeah, I'm hearing someone talking. Yeah, go ahead, Les.
That's another 76, 77, my senior year. You know, sad ass team, but you know, it is what it is.
Mad talent, though.
All right, Sheldon. Go ahead, Sheldon.
Huh?
I was asking Shelton to go ahead and speak.
Shelly looked like he froze.
Probably.
All right, we'll skip that for now then. Let's go with Ice.
Wayne Bodden, Brooklyn Tech, 77 through 79.
All right, Greg.
Yeah, Greg Penn. I actually played 77 to 78. I made the team in 76, less than senior year, but couldn't cut it because of the grades. But so
All right,
only got to
Kev,
play
what we
1
got,
year.
Kev?
Yeah, I'm in that same boat. 76, 77, 77, 78. I played the first half of 76, 77 before Mr. Cressa put the kibosh on that. And then played the second half of 77, 78 with my man Gil.
Okay.
I played with Les his senior year and played with Gil my senior year.
Okay. And my man Mike Watler, what you got?
I'm from 77 to 81. Freshman year, I did not play because it was super guard heavy. So I played from 78 to 81.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys coming and participating in this. And let's start out with basically you guys just, cutting the rug on what your experiences were like when you were playing at Tech, and not necessarily just the internal environment, good, bad, and ugly, but like the competition and the other schools that you played against and what that was like for you. And let's start out with Ice then.
The Brooklyn Tech experience was like incredible. Starting with my freshman year, seeing our neighborhood hero Kelvin Hicks playing, and with Leslie on the team, another, for me, local guy who I knew very well privately. I mean, hell, Leslie and his friends used to babysit me when I was like 4 or 5 years old. So that's how far we go back. And then the camaraderie, especially amongst, our class of 79, we were enormously biased as sophomores. We probably unjustifiably felt like we all got jilted not making the team, and we sort of banded together as sophomores to run the school as juniors and seniors, being very disrespectful to Shelly and Greg and Kevin in their class. But we practiced together. And I say the most special thing about my Tech experience is that we coached each other. We didn't really have a coach. We prepared our own summer programs. We executed our summer programs. People like me weren't good enough to play on Brooklyn USA, so I was directed to whether it was Fat Gary or Vanguard, where I did play. But we competed in the summer, all keeping an eye on, like, basically a preseason program ahead of its time. And we ran our own offenses, which is amazing when you see, like, offenses being called for people now at the highest level.
Tell people that and they cannot believe it.
Yeah, we ran our own offenses. We changed strategies. We came out the huddle and changed stuff on defense. We called our own traps. So it was just amazing, and I'd like to think it served me throughout my whole life.
Oh, okay.
That teamwork, that camaraderie. And
Could-
actually not being that good helped as well because it always kept me working.
Yeah. Well, what's
Can I,
up,
can I,
Mike?
can I just add to that real quick, Eric?
Yeah, go ahead.
I think what Wayne is touching on the overall theme of Brooklyn Tech basketball. The irony is Brooklyn Tech was what 4,000 or 5,000 students, yet the basketball team, the subset of that was a family from as early as Watts years to as late as Les's years. We all, to this day, that's why we're all sort of familiar. It's not like anybody on this call is like, oh man, we are a family. We have been since 1977, 78. Those years. And I think that is one of the things that has been great about the experience.
Yeah.
You know,
what
we-
you said, 'cause I hate Gil looked like he wants to really.
No, I would just say hello to my son.
Yeah. Well, I mean, no, but go ahead. Well, you add to that because you would like had that, seem like you had that feeling anyway. So go ahead.
I mean, yeah, I was just thinking like it was an amazing experience. It was first of all, it was exciting when we thought that we were gonna all be playing in the 10th grade, as Wayne said. I remember individually that tryout, I played as well in that tryout as I can possibly play. I never played better anywhere in my life than I played in that tryout in 10th grade, and I didn't make the team. I didn't make.
Yeah, I
the team.
remember that. Yeah.
Wow.
You know, and I was like, wow, you know that this is going to be very difficult, but in a way, it's really the best thing that ever happened to me. Because as Wayne said, that's really when our off-season program began. You know,
Yeah.
we all
Yeah.
went to our different places, and everybody got better from that sophomore year.
And that's funny thing that you said that though, is because I know I've been having conversations with a lot of people, and Les and I talk about this like extensively. And so, and I can see Mike waiting in the wings, and he's saying yes, yes, yes. So let's speak on your part, because you're like from that earlier era, and it seems like a common theme of issues while you were there. So Les, if you want to speak on that, that'll be great.
Speak on it, Les.
Y'all are talking too much positive stuff, man. You don't want to hear my story.
We do. You told me already. Tell me again. Say it again.
You know, man, I was, man, I'm gonna tell you, man, my Brooklyn Tech basketball was a sour spot in my life, man. I ain't gonna lie. The guys I hung out with, man, were more the guys that were just went to school. You know, like Rob Dunbar, that was my main guy. He was on the team. You know, we on that back staircase. You know that back staircase when you try to go to the roof, but it was always locked?
Yeah.
That's where we go. We have our courts and do our little thing, But, it was guys like Chris Foster, guys like that, man, that went on the team because I was bitter, man. I got cut 3 years in a row. Come on, man. You can't teach 6'7". That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know? And I had these conversations with Shed and Big Dow. So, man, how come you didn't play on the team? I said, y'all motherfuckers was cutting me. Because remember, there was so many people. Shelly never went to the tryouts. Right? So he was letting his boys do the first couple of rounds. And, man, I mean, I didn't play that great, but shit, I was still 6'7".
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
And we had more guys running around them halls going to chemistry classes, electrical engineering classes that could bust the guys' asses that was on the court. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was a shame, man. And then I have to go, and every year going at Lennox Road, have to show and sign a waiver to show that I didn't play on a high school team. This guy's like, nah, there's no way he don't play on a high school team. And I said, yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
And then the top it off was this.
Up on the rack over there.
I played at Lennox Road. Kelvin Hicks played at Grace Reform.
Yo, Monday. It's good job today.
And they were tired of us beating them. So he came over to play with us. And the first day of practice, Mr. Williams always asked, so where you go to school? So Kelly got to Kel. He said, Brooklyn Tech. I said, man, I go to Brooklyn Tech. I never seen you at Brooklyn Tech. So me and him, this is his junior year, my sophomore year, and we're playing on Lennox Road together. What sense does that make?
Word.
Come on, man.
It was a two guy. Those are two guys that made all city honorable mention.
That's two pro players.
Right, and and guys that were that got the positions. They never made all conference teams or whatever. So it's a common thing. And what do you have to say about that, Mike?
Me?
Yeah, bro.
Well, remember, my situation was different. I came after everyone.
Right.
Okay. Now, I only wanted to go to Brooklyn Tech. My sister was there, Gil was there, Trey was there, Darius Pearson was there.
Okay.
So there was nothing in my mind that said, go to another school.
Right.
Mhm.
I would have been crushed if I didn't get into Tech, which wasn't
Right,
the problem. Follow
Well,
me?
there was something in your mind that said go to another school. You know what it was? Ray Haskins.
No, well, that was a whole nother,
That's a whole nother story.
Yeah. And, the best thing in my life, the best decision I made in my life, I went to Tech, and this is my family.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the biggest
I think
as a young man. And
Right.
no one told me to make that decision because I could have followed the rest, but that wasn't the decision to make.
No.
You know?
I think the problem at Brooklyn Tech that we're all speaking about is that it was so much talent in that school.
Yeah.
The problem is the athletic department and the coaches. There was never an infrastructure to really. Snyder was I guess, I don't know, unless you played for him, but by the time we got to there, he was gone. It seemed like that those teams had a lot of success, but it just didn't seem like the high school in itself invested in the kind of coaching and teaching and skill development of the basketball. Because if they had done that, then things like having Les Miller not make the team for 2 straight years would never have happened.
It was a
Right. I think
football
that-
school.
You had
What's that? Right, it was a
you had a
football
lot-
school.
It was a
Exactly.
football school.
If we had
there was like 6,000 students that went to that school.
Yeah.
Right. And
I
quite frankly, I
remember the
remember
first-
when I tried out. I remember that trial with Gil. He did play as behind off. We talked, Gil and I probably the closest of this that bunch that are on. And I remember that, and I was hurt for him because I made it that year, and look, I knew Gil was a better player than I was.
No.
But I made it, and I'll tell you why I made it, because we all talk about how big the school is and the politics.
Mhm.
I hitched my wagon to Shelley because he was the prodigal son for some reason, and it was because of him that got me over the hump. Because let's face it, as Les said, there were cats walking around the hallway that could put a lot of the players on the team to shame.
So did you?
I understood.
So do y'all think that the attention that was required for a coach to find talent amongst, like you're responsible for finding a needle in the haystack, and they didn't do their job in finding those needles in that haystack of Brooklyn Tech?
I can answer that. You know what it was? It was up to the players. Like when the reason why we succeeded, and I'm sure Wayne and Mike and Trey and, all the guys that played with us from 77 and Luke from 77 to 79 will attest to, is that we was like, Watler has to be on the team.
Right, I remember that. You advocated for Watley.
I was like,
we had to lie
Watler
and not
is the
say
one-
Michael was
Watler's
a
the one
sophomore.
who started me to playing organized basketball. And he's 2 years younger than me. He got me on my first team. So I knew that he was an experienced player that will help us the moment he was on the team. So me, Wayne, Darius, Trey, we was like, he's a good player. He has to be on the team. So the coach was like, okay, put him on the team. That didn't happen with Les Miller. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It should have been guys on that team that was like, this guy's good. Put him on the team right now. But everybody was looking out for themselves. And I think that's what Les was always trying to say.
Right.
And we had to shield
And
that
that's why
Michael
that
was a
team
sophomore,
lost.
right? We couldn't tell him Michael was a sophomore until he made the team.
Right. I remember
After
that.
Michael made the team, we were like, oh, by the way, he's a sophomore, because he
I
wasn't
remember that.
going to get a look, because didn't get a look on our team.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Lorenzo,
Anybody play
I'm saying,
What'd you say, Lorenzo?
Lorenzo Charles was not on the team.
Did not make the team. That's right.
Nope.
I was the only sophomore on the team.
That's
What's up,
crazy.
y'all? What's up? What's up?
Yeah, let's break
Hey,
it.
what's up, man?
Clarence, what's going on, bro?
What's going on, Eric?
Yeah, I'm
Good.
chilling.
How you been, man?
What's up, Glenn?
Man, nah, I ain't still playing, man. I'm barely making it, man.
Come on, Glenn, stop.
Yeah, man. Good seeing you guys, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
Tell him about what you did with your dissertation real quick.
Yeah, I just completed it like last week, man. So I just got my doctorate in education leadership, man. So
Nice.
it's good, man. So I'm gonna do these 2 little last years. Like right now, I've been a superintendent 15 years. So 2 more years, I'm retiring, man. But I don't know if I'm gonna last because man, it's chaotic now, and the blended learning, the chancellor's being dominated by the mayor. The mayor's just you can't operate out from a position of weakness. The mayor, because of his ego, he thinks he knows everything. Like, I'm not telling him how to be a politician. He can't tell us how to be superintendents. But, you know, but yeah, man, I'm just glad y'all are together today, man.
So did your Brooklyn Tech experience impact your district? Did you know what like your?
Oh yeah, man. When I first got to Tech, I skipped from 8th to 10th grade, so I never went to 9th grade. I didn't know anybody, so the only people I knew were like 12th graders from my neighborhood. So I was doing everything they were doing, and they had short programs. They were leaving half day. I was leaving half day. Eventually, I stopped going to high school. So I dropped out the 10th grade, but I had most of my regions from middle school. And I made the team in 10th grade, but Pecor just, I was only sophomore to make the team that year. I was like, how the fuck is Gil, Darius, Wayne, Troy? I could keep going. How many we missed? A bunch of them that didn't make the team. How did they not make the team?
Now you see, he ain't hear nothing we said before this.
That's correct. Yeah.
Right. None of these guys made the team, and he was into a senior laden team. And these guys, you need time to work together to develop cohesion and like camaraderie and learn to sacrifice to each other. When you put guys together and they're in their senior year, everybody's just going for theirs.
Yeah.
They just trying to get a look. They're not playing for each other. They're not trying to make the right play. They're trying to get buckets. They're not trying to make the play to win the game. So, and then I ended up dropping out of high school in 10th grade, but I was able to get back in and pull it together. But, what I realized from that coach was that I just learned how to say, fuck it. I learned how to, link up with the right people that's going to keep me on the right track, throughout life, not just basketball, but just the right kind of the track throughout life. And we made lifelong friendships.
Right.
That's what I think.
All right.
One time
Can I ask a question?
People. Yeah, go right ahead. Mm-hmm.
All right. I got cut from freshman team my first year. I didn't play basketball my sophomore year. I ran track and I played football. I came back and tried out again in my junior year.
Junior year, you was the best player in the school.
Bullshit.
You were the best player in the school.
I wasn't the best player in the school. No one knew who I was. I was a freaking juvenile delinquent.
Yeah, and the best player in the school.
You might still be one.
Me, John Bradshaw.
JB,
Bradshaw.
that's right.
My junior year was Les Miller's senior year. So I couldn't have been.
Right.
We played on the same team.
Okay, second best player.
And on top of that, who else did we have that year, Les? Who else played there?
We had Shelley. We had Bree.
Dunbar.
Brian's.
Yeah, Breeze, you had Dunbar, you had
Daryl
Shelley.
Holder.
Bologna.
That was the year before. We didn't play together.
So,
I wasn't even none of these guys were I wasn't somebody that knew the coaches. I mean, the only time I knew Pecor was the first day I showed up for practice. So I guess my question is, saying that these coaches were actually not looking for the talent and bring the talent in, how could that have been if I actually wound up playing and I wasn't a known commodity? I didn't
Because you were 6'4", you were athletic, you were strong as you were a good player. What are you talking about? You were a good player already, Kevin.
but I think it's more of a problem that just the coaches weren't paying attention. They you go in the refrigerator and it's like a fridge full of fruit. You have the pick of the litter, take whatever you want. But if you just stand in the back and just say whatever falls out, I'm going to take, and you don't go through the fridge to go through that stuff. In other words, there was a pool of talent and they didn't apply going through that pool of talent properly. That's what it looks like to me from an outside looking in.
Well, what it is also is, remember, they were part-time coaches.
Right.
Yeah.
They weren't like the coaches now that they are looking in the summer, they look into the AAU programs.
That's
Remember,
true.
Tech, not that type of school.
Right.
They had to teach classes.
Exactly. They were teachers, and the sport that they were responsible for wasn't a major thing other than track and maybe baseball. Remember?
And football.
And football, right. But
but-
as far as the basketball team, we had Barry Pecor, like Wayne let off. We did our own thing.
What was Pecor teaching? White supremacy?
Might have been.
White supremacy
But
101.
I think from my perspective, I think what we're all saying, I think one of the better things about being involved in this adversity that we all are talking about is look what it's done. I think from the point we realized that the coaching and the athletic department was a miss and didn't know what the hell they were doing, we took it upon ourselves, not just in the game within Tech, but outside of that.
Yeah.
We banded together. Gil brings up a good point. We lifted each other up.
Yeah.
We lifted those people who knew that they, and I can't really speak for Les, so Les is a little older than us, but the other that within the same spirit, we lifted
Thanks
each
for
other up.
reminding me.
We decided in our off season, we didn't even know it then. It's not like now where it's kind of obvious. Everybody does off season, AAU, like Mike training. We did that.
Yeah.
Some of us was at Brooklyn USA, Vanguard, but we always was with each other. We stayed together, and we went through that adversity and had success.
Yeah.
We had success in 77.
Them 6 a.m. conditioning sessions at the track.
Oh my
Right.
God.
Trey,
We-
remember.
Those were rough.
Yeah,
Trey,
go ahead,
remember,
Mike.
our AAU was, we meeting at St. John's at 10 in the morning,
Exactly.
and everybody showed up.
Right.
Glenn came from crosstown. Wayne came from down the hill. Trey came from Bed-Stuy. Gil was right there out, and we met and we played all day, all night.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That was our
And
training.
I was going to ask about that. So, Mike, continue on that, and and speak on how that influence was a replacement for what y'all weren't getting at Tech. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I said, we would all, because that was the common park. Remember, everyone had parks in the neighborhood, right? But
Right.
eventually, periodically we would say, okay, we're going to go here this week. We're going to go there that next week. But in the end, we all met in St. John's.
Yeah.
We might have played early morning. We might have played afternoon, but we got in a 4, 5, 6 hours
right.
Right.
Every day. Every day.
Yeah,
Every day.
We would even, I remember, and Trey can attest to this, we was even doing 35 night, when they had right, Trey?
Right. Yeah.
They had to open at night. We used to go down. We went anywhere we can, so at least we got it in, and we learned the game,
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
from
We taught
one another.
ourselves. It was that
Right.
important to us. It really was.
Yep.
Basketball was so much ingrained in our being. It meant that much to us, and it also meant for us to keep ourselves together. Because
right.
school was one thing, but life was other. And we went through so many other things as basketball. I mean, Eric, there was other things we went through, some hardships, and I think that's formed a bond to this day that actually we all can in our successful lives come onto this Zoom call and really talk about the experiences that we had at Brooklyn Tech.
Right.
I think it's a beautiful thing.
And that's great to hear, man. So let's change gears a little bit. What was the competition like for you guys holistically during the course of your season when you were playing in the city, and specifically Brooklyn? What was it like playing against Erasmus, Canarsie, Eastern District, blah, blah, blah?
You hit it on the nose. Remember, Brooklyn Tech played in the hardest conference in the city,
Right.
and
We
we were an
used to play-
academic school.
We used to have to play against Lafayette. We
Right,
used to
it was
play
boys
against
and girls.
South Shore,
Lafayette,
South
That
Shore,
was the
South
conference.
Shore,
I mean,
Hamilton.
Everybody looked at Brooklyn Tech as, well, that's a W.
Right, that was a doormat.
That's what I'm
Exactly.
gonna speak on. The
When they looked at
mentality- when we
looked
came
at
to the
Brooklyn-
school, when we
Right.
started playing, I did, first of all, I used to have my Quarterfield on, my Gabardines, I was like, nah, I remember standing in line when I was a freshman, all these white guys on the side, hey, freshies. And I'm like, I can't wait for one of these fools to put their hands on me. They don't know, this ain't the old Brooklyn Tech. And we
Right.
took that attitude from the streets to the court. That's real talk.
Yeah.
Right.
I came there, I remember thinking, nah, all that, y'all not gonna be beating Tech anymore,
Right.
We started playing, we had played against all them guys throughout all the summers.
All our lives.
And we knew that they was just guys. All the
Right.
other Brooklyn Tech guys, the years before that, they were afraid of those teams, the Lafayettes, the South
Yep.
Shores, the Alexander Hamiltons, most
The
of all.
Erasmus, right.
The Erasmus, second most of all. And we was like, these guys are just guys. I know we're gonna beat them. And the thing was, they knew we were gonna beat them too.
Yep.
And that was the most beautiful experience coming from Tech, from bringing the program from thought of as I mean, Ray Haskins used to tease me, you guys at Tech, you a brainiac. He was just doing his mind meld so that when we played them that year, he thought that he could still hold that over us.
Yeah,
It ain't working no more.
Yeah, and plus, you knew the guys you were playing against.
Right.
It was like
Yeah,
we played against them all
played
summer.
against them all our lives.
Yeah,
Right.
you know. And what was
And so
and
that was the key thing. We knew that we were gonna change the mentality of how New York City thought about Brooklyn Tech, and then it happened those 2 years.
So you found yourselves reaching up into that premium environment, whereas years prior that there was always a struggle. Now we become competitive. We're gonna go and do our work.
I mean, the year before we started playing, I think less than them 10, they went what 2-10 in that division, or 3-9, something like that.
Right.
Then the
Yeah,
next
that's
year,
being
we
nice.
went,
Yeah,
We're
and one of those
next year
games
we
was
went
they'll beat us.
8-4.
Yeah, that was my biggest win.
What, when y'all beat me?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. All right, I remember that.
I hit that jumper, and you found out you found me and won out the game,
How about the
motherfucker.
game?
There can be nothing sweeter than that. That's
sweet.
Yo,
Well,
he-
listen.
I think we got Midwood a couple of times. At least
Yeah.
when I was.
Well, we
Played.
lost
Got us in
in
the
my
end.
senior
Well,
year.
listen.
We lost to Midwood. Who was the dark-skinned player that was I forgot his name now, but we lost to Midwood in the first round of the playoffs my senior year.
Yeah, my senior year too.
Yeah.
Eric-
You know
Eric,
what
What's
happened?
his name?
Our
What's his
senior
name?
year.
Eric-
Our senior.
Otis.
It was Michael Mackey, Michael
Mike-
Mackey,
Esposito.
Anthony Clay,
Esposito.
Joe
Esposito.
Esposito.
Right.
No, it was Otis.
They had a
from
stacked
Brownsville.
crew. When you look back at it, they had a stacked crew.
Stacked
We
crew.
really
Whit
did.
Paul.
We thought it was
Whit
gonna be.
Paul.
I thought it was gonna be. I cried like a baby after that game.
Two things
remember that
Pecor
game?
did. Two things Pecor did that annoyed me. First time we lost our senior year. First time he cursed us out, and then a week later, the other team they had to reverse the loss because they had 5 overage players. He didn't
It was
apologize.
Lafayette.
He
Which
cursed
Eric
us out.
posted
And then-
on Ball
Yes,
Side
I
Video,
posted
by
the
the way.
article.
And then we went to play in the first round of playoffs. He could have waited a week. We could have played on our court or a neutral court. He was so arrogant. He chose to play Midwood in their little matchbox gym. Meanwhile, you taking the ball out, people pulling you into the stands. They pressed us, and we wasn't ready, and they smacked us. And it was his fault. We were
We
19
lost
and
by
1 that
9
year. It
points.
was
But
his
most
fault.
importantly, cuz he cut Troy Townsend
Troy
before
Townsend,
the
yeah.
game.
For wearing 2 different color sneakers.
He cut our starting forward before who was a key to the team.
Yes.
He cut him.
Doggy. Yeah.
Because of
He
his
cut a great
sneakers.
player before the
He
game.
had 2 different
Who
color
does that?
sneakers on one game. He got mad and he cut him.
But that's not caring.
I mean, you would
Yeah,
show up one
yeah,
time, you would show up to
people
games,
didn't
he'd be like, you didn't go to
Yeah.
class today, you sitting today. He did that
Well, let me
to
tell
Bill,
you,
he
this
did
is what
that to me, he
Luke-
did that
this
to
is what
all
Kevin
of us.
That's what Kevin Lucas was talking about back in 76 or 77, my junior year, Lester senior year. We showed up to practice, first practice, we made it. I'll never forget it. It rings he just called our names out right in front of everyone. He said, if I call your name, step forward. So we stepped forward. He's like, you guys, out of here.
He said it like
Now
that.
listen, I'm not laying blame for me having my issues with school. I mean, I was like Luke. I was the delinquent at times. But he could have. I don't know if he was trying to send a message. I doubt it. I don't think he was that strategic. He just didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
He could have come to homeroom and told us that. He could have called us to his office before practice, said, "You guys didn't make the cut. I got to cut you because you're grade." But Pico didn't care. He just checked off the box and kept.
Yeah, he was a
moving.
capital dick, all caps.
Yes.
Actually, if I could interject, at a reunion event last year, one of the teachers who I was pretty cool with, Mr. Math, didn't remember me. He's an old man now. And, I told him, I tried to refresh his memory. And I said, I played basketball, Mr. Math. And he was like, who was your coach, Shelley? I'm like, no, right after Shelley. He's like, oh, that guy. He didn't care.
Is that what he said?
He said he was just there to get the check.
A one sentence answer, huh?
Yeah. He was like, oh, the guy after Shelley, he didn't care. He didn't care.
I can tell you a story too. One day when we were seniors, right, Wayne? I walked, I'm coming into the office. So Shelly Schneider tells me, wait outside, he's in there with Pico. He's like, wait outside, right? Just him and Pico in that athletic department office. I never came in that office. I know I probably told y'all this story before. I'm walking into the office. Shelly, before Picor knows I'm there, he asked him, "Hey, so what do you think of that kid, Tony Gill, Barry?" He said, "What do you think about him?" He said, "Oh, he's a fucking black kid."
Yeah. He didn't know. He didn't know you were outside. did
That's
he?
an exact quote.
What a fucking
He
ass
said, "He's a
white.
But
fucking
you,
black
but you,
kid."
you have to understand though, there's a whole definition behind that. That
Yeah.
that they only know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The words
Yeah.
that he used, that was a bell whistle for him to process probably a whole paragraph of a description of you because of how he classified you.
Yeah.
And understand,
Usually.
Eric, we all got ourselves into college. We didn't have
Exactly.
everybody,
But you
maybe
guys
with the
were-
exception of Eric from my class
Yeah.
and Wendell the next year, we all filled out our own college letters, sent our own clippings,
Wow.
Yeah.
whatever we tried to do, called coaches to come watch us.
Mhm.
We did
Yeah.
that.
Well, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna interject, right? So check this out, man. When I'm playing in my senior year, and I was having a good season, and Shelly comes up to me and said, "Hey, son, what are you, a sophomore? You just started here?" I said, "Yo, man, you cut me 3 years in a row. You don't remember me?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Are you serious?" Yo, he tried his best. He was getting me coaches coming to check me out, the whole nine. That's how upset he was.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yo, man, I'm so sorry. I mean, I had already signed with CW Post because of him.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?" And then I got the call from my man Don McAllister about Hartwood, and they was giving me some more money. Everything was better because what happened was I was supposed to go to George Washington University. So then I was telling all the other schools, "Nah, man, I'm good." And then they get me in the end. I was there. I flew down there with Mike Darby from Boys.
Yeah.
You know, we flew down there. We had a great weekend, man. I was like, "Oh man, this is the shit." So I was gonna do the engineering program, the whole nine, and they called me back in August. My father called the guy because he said, "Yo, it's getting kind of late." And he said, "Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Miller. They got some kid that was 6'9" from the DC area." So I got dicked. Now I'm calling all these other schools up that wanted me. I was like, "Yo, you still got a spot for me?" So CW posted, "Yeah, but you may have to commute the first year." I signed up for my classes and shit, man.
Wow.
And then when I told Don, I said, "Yo, man," he said, I go to Harvard, man. They're looking for another big man. He said, "Where you gonna go?" I said, "CW Post." He started laughing. He said, "We bust their ass every year, man." I said, "Seriously?" I went up to the school. Everything was better, man. And next thing you know, I'm playing there. And the first time we played CW Post, I'm on the cover of the magazine and shit. So the assistant coach said, "Yo, so this is why you came here?" I said, "Nah, man. I came here because it was a better situation, And then it was Ron Ganulin. He was the assistant coach.
Wow.
The next year, he's at New York Tech. So I said, "Oh, so you would have left me anyway, motherfucker." You know what I'm saying?
It's a dirty game. It's
Yeah.
a dirty game.
Let me just
Yes, it is.
let me just say it
But the
real
whole
quick to
thing-
Shelly. Shelly just texted me, said that his connection is poor where he is, so he'll sorry he had to drop off.
Oh, okay.
Just real
All right,
quick.
that's cool. But the whole thing for me is trying to get an understanding of how bad those situations were for you guys. But you guys were in a school where your education was important. You guys are pretty sharp individuals, so it was easy to try to figure out and find the guiding light to what you guys wanted to do, like Mike said earlier. But how difficult was it in your understanding of the process that you had to take the reins yourself and do the homework yourself versus what your expectations were for the coaches? And did that have an impact on your decision-making capabilities at that time?
Okay, let me answer. Let me just give a quick comment on that. Remember, I walked into school where my sister was already there. Trey was there, Gil was there, Wayne was there, Glenn was there. So I had a family there before I even walked in the door.
Right.
I didn't have to learn and get friends. I had those guys, and those were my ball guys before I got there.
Right. But I mean, in the sense of the coaches, Mike, like what
Well-
kind of, being that well, two questions then. First one, did they do their job in the recruiting part of the process for you guys?
No,
Or
no,
what
no.
helped you do your own recruiting process?
Well, once again, my brother was behind me 1,000%.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
And once again, I had Gil, I had Trey, and Wayne. I had all those guys. They were there for me, and they saw me grow up.
Yeah.
And they did give me guidance.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So,
Perfect.
like I said, I was at an advantage because I did have my brother. I had these guys, and I had the AAU circuit.
That's what I was gonna say. We also had like the experiences of people that was around us. We're
Right.
like, yo, this guy's getting into this school, and so that why not me? I'm better than him. You're like, I'm better than him. I'm a better student than him, coming from a better school than him. What's happening with me? If the coaches are not doing it, then you got to do it yourself. You can't just, and that, what the thing is, that's what's maintained us to this very day. That's the foundation that has girded us to this very moment in time. There was nobody doing it for us. We learned to do for ourselves.
There you go.
There were two people, and the first person that actually tried to help me was Gil Reynolds.
Yeah.
And he tried to get me, he talked to my parents, he was going to take me to Laurinburg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With all the rest of the people that actually wound up going to Laurinburg. But the person that actually had a more significant role was Lester Pilgrim.
Beautiful human being.
Beautiful
Yes,
human
he
being.
was, man. God rest his soul, man. Yes.
He was the person actually that after I left Tech, we moved out to Long Island. So I was commuting. It took me like 2 hours to get from Long Island into Brooklyn Tech.
Wow.
So I decided after and I would get home at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock after basketball games. I decided for my last 6 months of school that I was just going to move out and basically go to Uniondale, out where we live. But he actually helped me get into New York Tech. That's where I was actually originally slated to go with Bones and Kelvin. All those guys were all were all there. I would have been a freshman there.
Pete Edwards.
Larry McCartney.
Yeah. Pete, you had
Matter of fact,
Cox,
I
you
was-
had Dale, all of them was there.
And then eventually Watler and Jimmy Clark.
I was
That's
enrolled
right. That's
there.
right. That's right. Yeah.
I was actually enrolled in school there. And he came to me and, said, hey, there's this coach from Seattle University. He is looking for players. I know you're at New York Tech, but I think this might be a big, a good fit for you. So he actually had me and there was two other guys. I think Coley Melvin was one of them. And
12.
there was another guy that I can't think of his name, and we tried out at the BRC, of all places, the BRC. And next thing I know, the guy's asking me, it was this guy Jack Shallow. He was the coach at Seattle University. It was a roundabout way. We actually our paths crossed a couple of different times with between college and professional. But he called me to the side and said, hey, I'm looking for players. Are you interested? What's your GPA like? I told him my GPA wasn't great, but it wasn't, terrible. I graduated from high school. He said, well, you can go to, would you be interested in going to a junior college for a year and then transferring to, Seattle University? And, I was living at home and I was having problems with my dad. So went home, looked through the Encyclopedia Britannica, checked out Seattle, made sure that it didn't snow there. And next thing I know, I was on my way to Seattle.
Wow.
So that was your Google, huh?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That was everybody's Google.
Yes.
No internet in 77.
78. I
78.
had a one-way ticket to Seattle. So,
Okay.
but that's all because of Les Pilgrim. He was the guy I played for him. He was one of the guys I played for. During the summer, I played for him. I played a year for Gil. I played for Louis Dalmeda for the Gauchos when he was first starting.
Yeah.
So when Gil says, I was the best player in the school, I played on a team with Sid Green, Mo Sanford, Jeff Thomas.
Wow.
All these guys were all all city cats.
We
And
beat
I
y'all,
was
right?
I was just Mr. Mr. East New York. So I had,
Luke, we beat y'all, right?
what's that?
We beat y'all, right?
Yeah, you beat me one year. I was there. You guys had a pretty good team, man. We didn't play well, and Gil was upset that year. We played. As a matter of fact, it was at St. John's Rec.
Yeah,
Wow.
I remember.
Well,
We
that's
used
the
to
funny
play
thing,
back
man,
and
that you
forth.
guys
We would
are
beat
talking
you
about.
guys.
Gil said, I remember.
Yo, listen, guys, I'm gonna run. I got to get back to this, man.
All right, Glenn.
Hey, Glenn, do me a
All right,
favor, yo.
man. Good.
Congratulations, brother.
Yeah, sir, I
Good
need
seeing
your
you,
number,
man.
man. We talk later, okay?
All right, man. Yo,
I'll
be
get it
good,
from
Leslie. Everybody, take care, man.
Take care, bro.
All right,
Okay,
man.
you
All
one,
right,
brother.
man. Good.
Take care.
One. Thanks.
All right.
Yeah, Gil defected to the dark side that next year.
I did. They call me. My son. I told my sons call me Kevin Durant.
Well, let me ask y'all
'Cause
something.
I left Crown High School at Booker USA.
Yeah. Let me ask y'all something a little different because I know all of y'all took a test to go to Tech, but none of y'all live by Tech. Am I correct?
No.
No.
So,
But we weren't far away.
No.
right. But what? So
No.
you guys commuted to the school, basically.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Right.
And,
Yeah.
And you guys, and this is a question that we're asking everyone through the whole process because we're covering about busing in Brooklyn. How did you? There were no yellow buses. Am I correct?
No, we took the train.
Took the A
Yeah,
train.
I'm just saying. But hear me. Hold on. None of y'all got on a school bus during your school years. Am I correct? To
No.
go to
Correct.
school.
Hell
So
no.
you got on. You
That
got
was
on
only a
ETA, huh?
That was only the Catholic schools that had buses.
Right. But so basically, you guys got on the trains and the buses with the killers, rapists, you
Yeah.
know, pretty
Regular
girls,
public
ugly
transportation.
girls, everybody. So, but and so the reason why I'm asking is because there's a lot of questions regarding that time frame and how high school, a lot of people in the, in our communities were being bused out to like Utrecht, FDR, Fort Hamilton, but there were never any more schools built in the black neighborhoods.
Right. That was
What did we have? We had, unless you took a test at a specialty school, there was Boys High, Alexander Hamilton, and Jeff.
Right.
But everybody, and so the balance of us leaving the community and going and playing, at Fort Hamilton, like Albert King's family, they all lived in Fort Greene, and they were going to school at Fort Hamilton.
Yeah.
So I just want to know, what was it like for you guys being and knowing that there were some people in your communities that weren't going to school with you and being bused via whatever venue or process into those white neighborhoods, because there were no white kids living in, Canarsie coming over and going to Boys High. So what were you guys' feelings on, if you had to think about it, even though I know a lot of people, it's not in their minds about this concept, but what do you all think about the fact that there was busing going on then?
Well, I don't know necessarily. I don't know. Well, busing in the sense that I had a good friend, and you guys may remember. Kurt Joseph was one of my best friends in high school. He went to he went to Lafayette, and he lived right in Bed-Stuy with us. He was on Herkimer Street, and I was on McDonough. And it was sort of oblivious to me because, like you said, we all took the train, the AHC train, right to Lafayette. Got when we were in school for those who were in the Stuy. But he used to come home and share stories about them getting chased home every day, dealing with issues in the school. I mean, just blatant racism.
Well, in 1975, when I came to Tech, there was race riots going on at Brooklyn Tech.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying. Yeah, right. We weren't insulated from it, but I mean, we did have the comfort of it didn't happen. It wasn't a daily occurrence.
Right. No, and it was a quick run to the train station.
Right.
I
but
think
when he went to school, it was just. I mean, it was like every man for yourself. I mean, it was the stories he shared with me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine why he would even be in school. I mean, I just didn't understand it then but I mean, I do now. But I mean, this is the kind of things that other people, while Gil is right, we did face. Everyone did. I mean, racism in schools was rampant everywhere. But obviously, some more than others. And clearly,
You was the craziest.
You coming from other areas. You don't look like the folks that live out there in Lafayette.
Yeah.
You face some real shit.
No doubt.
Yeah,
When I played football, my sophomore year, we didn't have a home field. We practiced at City Park, so we used to have to actually run through the hood to get to the field, practice, and then come home in the dark.
And run.
When we went to all of our games, all of our games were away games. So we would literally like be on the subway with our duffel bags, with our helmets on, right? These duffel bags. And we'd be walking through New Utrecht. We'd be walking through, Seastead Bay, even Tottenville. We went out, we played Tottenville one, that year.
Yeah.
And, there were times where we'd have to huddle up because, we would get chased, and I don't know if that was part of, I think, just growing up, knowing, where to go and where not to go. I mean, I grew up in East New York, so off of Linden.
He just froze on us, guys. Go ahead. Somebody else want to chime in?
I would say that I just knew about like the specialized testing and that part of it. We were like and from elementary school to junior high school, I was like in a special program for gifted students, where they kept like 25 of us in the same class from first grade through 8th grade.
Yep.
So
we
knew from fourth grade, that we were going to Brooklyn Tech.
Same thing.
Right.
Yeah,
I knew in fourth grade that I was going to Brooklyn Tech.
No, you were going to a specialized high school. You didn't know if it was going to be tech or not.
Right.
That's what
I knew I wasn't going to be traveling to the Bronx or to Manhattan. No, I didn't think I was anyway. Our teacher was telling us, you guys are going to Tech. You guys are going to Tech. You guys are going to Tech. I'm friends with my third grade teacher on Facebook now, too, to show you the upside of social media, too. Like, there's a lot of downside, but, like, the beauty of social media is that you can still communicate with your third grade teacher and have conversations with her about the impact she had on your life.
Yeah, that's funny. I don't think Les and I could do that. They'd probably be going, man, because they'd be like 110 probably now. But I know Les and I, we were in that classroom at Walt Whitman, that little ass room for math. Remember Les? And it was like this little ass room, 8 of us, and it was like we were the only ones getting, that specialty attention, in mathematics. So, and those opportunities open the door for you to be
that's right
a student of or a participant to take the test.
You felt different. You felt like when you went to, I would say when you went to Tech, you felt like, okay, you felt different than the people who were going to the schools in the neighborhood around you, because you knew that you were getting and I wouldn't say necessarily superior education, but you were getting a different, and the same thing at Midwood too, by the way. You were getting a different education.
I didn't want to say that, but go ahead.
I say it for you. You're getting a different type of education than the kids that are going to the neighborhood schools, just because they had to. Now, having said that, you got people like Richard Gordon, you see what I'm saying, who he knew he was going to Boys High from the beginning, and Richard Gordon came out of there with like a 97 average, and went straight into Columbia on roller skates. Sometimes I wish I would have done that. Especially back in the days. But I would say that having had the specialized high school experience as far as academically, you just and I felt that feeling again really strong when I went to our high school, when I went to our 40-year reunion last year. It's a bond and a comradeship that you have with people who only they understand that experience, what it was like to go to school and to go through the rigors of a school like that. And it makes a double bond, like me, Trey, Mike, Wayne, Darius, Shelly, Glenn. There's nothing that could break our bond because we have a double bond that's different than what anybody. And with me and White and Trey, we have a triple bond because we grew up in the same neighborhood too.
And
same
same
academic rigors, same basketball experience. I don't have brothers. They are my brothers. You see what I'm saying? Right. So.
And like Trey just said, our kids are best friends.
Look at that.
Right. Our kids play together. They play for Coach Gill.
Yeah.
I've gone to watch kids' basketball games. He's come to my kids. It just continues on and on. I think the part of the double bond is that while we all were proud because we were in a specialized situation, part of what makes that bond even strong is that you have to deal with the schism that is growing up in East New York like Luke did, Crown Heights like Gil, and Watt Crown Heights, and myself in Bed-Stuy, Wayne down in Lefferts. When you come back to the crib, you know, you're gonna be subject to all kind of derision and shit.
You got
Like,
those
people-
hands.
Yeah, people want to know you maybe
Tell
you
me
can
about
play
it.
ball,
You
but
gotta
maybe you
fight.
can't handle.
Tell me
Right,
about
maybe
it.
you can't handle yourself a certain way. You know, you just have to deal with the schism because people looked at you as the brainiac.
Yes.
And, you know,
Yeah.
and so you can, right. But you know, I was like, I can add these buckets I'm about to give you too.
So you guys
You
are
know that-
remember when,
So
I'm
I
not gonna
was
say
in-
any names. Remember when we were in high school and I was a junior, y'all seniors, and somebody from around Les and Wayne's Way stole my spring quarter field and wore it to school the next day.
Right. Hard Rock.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna say.
I don't say his name, Trey.
He just did. He just
I was like, he wore my coat to school.
I do remember that.
He stole it out of the pit. He wore my coat to school, yo. You know, we had to throw the next day.
Yeah, I remember that. And I was with
What the
you.
train
And
station?
I made sure nobody, because you know he had all this beats. I had to make
Exactly.
sure
You
nobody
and
jumped
Shelly.
in.
You and Shelly was right there
Right.
with us.
Yeah.
Wow. You guys are crazy, man. You guys are nuts, man. I mean, what was the experiences like for you guys away from Brooklyn Tech and in the community, you know, balling, you know, your parks that you played at, you know, what was that experience like for y'all, you know, in your respective areas that you grew up in?
You know something, E? I'm glad you brought that up because we're going to take this outside the neighborhood. You could go to any state. You could go to any conference. You're going to see somebody from Brooklyn Tech.
Yeah.
I run into that as an adult. Anywhere I go, you have graduates from Tech.
Right.
And it's like amazing. You really don't know the impact that Tech has on you until you mature, and you be like, wow. I mean,
Here's
you know, they had this when we were in school. They said, what was it? Tech rules.
Here's a quick
Remember
story.
you used to always see that Tech
Yeah.
rules,
Mhm.
and you take that for granted. But you 25, 30 years later, and you're in another state, and you run into somebody that went to school with you. That's amazing, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I worked in, after I left, I graduated from college, I worked in the nuclear power industry, nuclear power generation. I worked in the supply chain.
Now that's a brainiac right there.
California?
Yeah. Well,
What
I did
city?
a lot of stuff, but I started out as a mechanics helper, and actually they used to call me college boy because I was the only guy that was there that had a college degree.
What city were you in, Lou?
I was in San Luis Obispo. I worked at a nuclear power plant called Diablo Canyon.
Hey fellas, I just want to let y'all know that's why you see that green glow around him, man. It's not going away.
And the muscles too. That's it. It's the muscles. But, so I worked my way up through the ranks and wound up as a working in the supply chain as an expediter. I started as an expediter, and the material manager for our whole department was from Tech.
Wow.
He actually graduated from Brooklyn Tech in like
Engineer.
1968. And he was like, he was my manager. That was like one of the things that we used to sit and talk. I said, hey, you know, he asked me, do they still have the foundry there? They still have the machine shop?
Yeah.
They still have like the drafting room? Yeah, we used to do it. We did all that stuff.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the experience just it's a long-lived experience in terms of playing outside Brooklyn Tech. As wide as like a lot of people said on this call, we stayed together. We played ball. We went everywhere. And then while everybody went to their respective colleges, we kept in touch. I knew what Gil was doing, who was a hunter. I knew what Walt was doing, Wayne. We all somehow kept the dots connected. And then we reconvened at some point, believe it or not, some of us. And when we were able to drive, we ended up going out to Cromwell playing ball, playing in 30 and over leagues, 6 feet and under leagues,
Yeah.
50 and over. You know, we continue to do, we continue to keep the bond, the camaraderie going till the wheels fell off. I mean, you know, till things, we couldn't do it anymore. And that's, so I'm sure all of us can share that same experience one way
And
or
that's
another.
with and without social media.
Exactly. Yeah, do it the hard fashion way. the phone call, leaving a message with your moms or your sister saying, "Yo, Trey called, Gil called. We're going out to Cromwell today. We're going here. We need an extra guy. We're playing in this corporate league, whatever it was." So I think the experience, Les, we all can share some horrible experiences at Brooklyn Tech, but it taught us confidence. I remember when I went away to school, I was brimming with confidence that I never knew I had until I separated from the guys, but it was instilled in me because just being around guys who are always confident, not just basketball, but in life, right, and just things that they, so it while it had its moments, I was like, some of the experiences were just horrible, but in every horrible experience shines a light that I think we all took advantage of, and here we are today. So I'm happy, and I'm glad that this documentary is actually highlighting some of the things that all of Brooklyn basketball has brought to a lot of people in the community. I think this is a great job between you, E, and Craig Booth, man. This is something else.
I just told them they're genius, man. It really is. It can't not win what y'all doing.
Right.
It's a beautiful thing. You're telling the truth. You're uplifting people. You're telling stories that not many people know about. You're telling important stories. And as I told you in the beginning, before everybody was on, E, it's something that and I'm gonna write something. I'm gonna send y'all something. I'm gonna write something. It's been formulating in my mind for a while. I'm trying to think of the right things to say, but it's like every life is important, man. You know what I mean? Like Cosell. Like people don't know about Cosell, man.
Yeah. Right.
People don't like. That's an important life that's on. That happened on this earth, man. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. People don't know that Ice Reynolds grew from 5'11" to 6'3" and won some. People don't know that. That's important, man, for people to know, man. Mm-hmm. It's important for people to know that we all have stories where we came through the hardest things, man, and you could do it. What it is just life affirming, man. Right. And the source of it all is Brooklyn basketball. And the great mentors we had, like I've been in practices with Ray Haskins. I've been in practices with Lloyd McCrory. That's a great picture. I've been in practices with
Billy Newton.
Yep. I've been in practices with with George Merton. I seen George Merton tell Sam Worthington, "Sam, goddammit, you gotta guard Gil. He's killing the practice right now." And I'm like, Sam is my idol. Yeah. That tell you who George Merton is, though. By the way, yeah, he don't care. He will let, and that's E's father, by the way.
Yeah, unless you're Eric Stewart.
That's father too. Yeah. I'm telling you, I played for all those coaches, and I got a little bit from each, because I'm observant like that. I took a little bit of from each one of them, man. And then, I'm driven by it, man. So when I coach, I'm not really trying to coach basketball so much, man. I let the kids, like I heard Dave Chappelle say it last night on his interview with Dave Letterman, which is
I saw that. That was a good one.
Amazing, right? Amazing. Yeah. He said, my father never really, he never really put the puzzle together for me. He just, he just left the pieces right there. So maybe that goes right there. Maybe that goes right there. Yeah. And that's what I had to learn to do as a coach.
Yeah, I was going to say one thing, and I don't want to divert too much, but I'm very proud of this group. And we don't get to commiserate about our team, per se. But I dare anybody to find another Black basketball team with the level of success in life that we collectively share and that these guys share. Everybody's had a different impact and a significant impact. And
we're proud of you, Wayne.
And I can tell, like, for my AAU brethren, they're not us. Like,
That's right.
We got community love for them.
Yeah.
But they're not us, man. And I mean each and every one of us. And I'm so proud of each and every one of you guys, and even the guys not on the call. And it's been like just such an honor, again, like I mentioned in the beginning, knowing Leslie and coming full circle where Leslie played with wound up being my best friend in college at Hartwick. And then so we came full circle at that point, and and just watching George practice with Eric and Leslie, and I'm too young and not good enough to be on that team in Wingate all the time. But it's just been like this life journey, man. And like you guys did it, man. It is just like, you know, I wish there was a writer amongst us instead of all these damn business people.
But no, we got a writer.
Yes, we
He's
do.
right there.
But then
Yes,
you
we
need to write
do.
the story, man.
Gil is a writer. He's a poet and a writer.
Need to
And
write the
philosopher.
story because
I
I,
heard that.
you know, there's
My
no
wordsmith.
We try to get it together. Let's get it together.
greater just going, I don't know the 76 crew that well, but 77 to like 81, there's no
Mhm.
better group of guys I could imagine
Yeah.
Right.
Likewise, bro.
coming through an
Yeah.
inner city.
You know, it's
Right.
really, it's amazing when you think about it, just how all of our lives are like intertwined.
Right.
You know, how, you know, Facebook has been an amazing
Yeah.
amazing tool to reconnect with a lot of you guys. You know, I found Gil on Facebook. I found Les on Facebook. I found John Bradshaw on Facebook,
Yeah, JB, yeah.
who used to be my hang partner. You know,
Yeah.
we used to be up in that same staircase with Les.
We always in that staircase.
Les is still in that staircase. Les is
Wait,
still
wait.
in that. He's sitting there right now. That's where Les is right
Wait,
now.
the staircase had a name. That was called the back staircase, right?
That's right, man. So what's your
I
take
would,
on
I
this?
would tell you
Les?
this. I would tell you this too, E, if I may. Like they talk about intertwined, right? How we're all intertwined. Michael Watler, as I said before everybody got on the phone, he put me on my first basketball team, man. 2 years younger than me. Trey, Greg Penn, helped me find the house that I've been living in for the last 22 years.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's like from the age, I know Watler since he's 10 years old. You know, me and Wayne connected from beginning our freshman year in high school. Just been boys from our freshman year in high school. It's like, and we never have been really disconnected since 1975, man. I've been friends with this in-
Let me share my little
that's a
anecdote.
strong 45 years, man. To talk at least once at least once, 2-3 times a year, every year, you know, since then.
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
and
Hey,
feel
Greg,
like
hold
we
on
never
for a
missed a
second,
beat,
Greg.
man.
But Les, go ahead, because I know Les was going to speak after Ice. So go ahead, Les.
Yo, I just want to tell you, your brothers, man, y'all got a special bond, man, because see, like that kind of shit didn't happen for me and below, right? Because coming from another neighborhood, man, it's like I would go to tech and then I go home to my boys. You know what I'm saying? You guys were boys before you even got there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
we had a reunion one time, and I said to my man Greg Forster, Craig, what happened was Facebook got us all together. And I said, how come we didn't stay in touch? He said, yo, because nobody was from that neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? We went back home to our boys. Everybody that we met there was at the school. Like, I ain't never been to nobody's house. You know what I mean? We'd hang out on the corner of Fort Green, you know, drinking whatever, and then, all right, man, I'll see you tomorrow. You know what I mean? So it was very few that we kind of like did something outside of school. You know what I mean? And so I was like, damn, because it's like my man, I went to Harvard, he went to Florida. I didn't have his phone number. Nobody had no cell number. You know what I mean? So it was kind of weird. So I admire you guys because you guys have been like that, man. And this reminds me of like my college brothers. You know what I mean? I mean, we got like a 6-way joint on texting every day. We all going and sending pictures and talking about all kind of crazy shit. You know what I mean? So that's the closest thing I had to that. You know. Now, of course, I know Eric since we was in diapers, man. You know what I mean? So, and that's my dude. That's my dude, man. But to have the camaraderie with so many guys, man, that's special, man. And I commend you guys.
It really is.
Yeah, I remember when I had when a family member had a legal issue, maybe 10 years ago, maybe 10, 12, I don't remember. And we needed somebody quick to help us out. And guess who we called?
Wayne Barton.
Wayne Barton. He helped us out immensely. So yeah,
Now
you
it's
know,
like 20
and Gil used to come to my house every day after school and eat bologna sandwiches with me.
Yep.
Yeah.
You remember Gil?
His parents are like my godparents, man.
Hey, Greg, remember, you and Sam went to school with my sister, so I knew y'all before we even knew each other.
Exactly. I do. Exactly.
Him and his brother went to school with my sister, went to junior high school. They all went to tech together, and I followed them there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's like, and it's all, everybody was on that same conveyor belt to
Yeah.
an environment that was conducive of your, quite honestly, because y'all are brainiac black guys, right? But seriously, y'all were successful academically, and that's what got y'all there. And it's funny because I have a relationship with all of y'all knuckleheads, man. And it's
Yeah.
crazy
It is
to
sort
me.
of weird, right? Eric
It's
Short has
crazy to me.
like an attachment, a real attachment to everybody in the Brooklyn Tech
Yeah.
Zoom. Why you
Yeah.
ain't go to Tech?
Yeah, because my sister went to Midwood.
He got recruited by Midwood.
And we thought Eric was a pro. We used to look at Eric. I was like in 9th grade. I'm like, this motherfucker's a pro.
Yo, this is
I
not
just
a
see him.
Zoom
I was
call
like,
about
damn,
being
his
top, man.
game looked different than everybody else. Am I lying? What? I used to see him. I was like, damn, his game
No,
looked
I know.
different than everybody else.
He was definitely serious, no doubt about that. I know,
Young
because that was
age.
my dude.
Yo,
He always took care of me.
And that's what I said, man. Mike Watler, man, boy.
He always took care of me.
Let me tell you something, man. If I ever had a younger brother on this planet, and I'm going to say this, and hopefully I don't start crying because I'm really serious. If I had ever would want to have a brother who was younger than me, it'd been Mike Watler. And
Wow,
I'm throwing that out
Thank
there,
you.
man. I'm serious. And you
Thank
want to
you.
know why? I saw him at a young age, and his conduct and how he conducted himself and the things that he did, they were in line. And we were like, we saw eye to eye.
Yeah.
And I guess they looked up to me. So it was like that relationship that was there. And it disappeared. But thanks, like you said, thanks to this project,
Right.
it opened up, a lot of people's eyes, mine, And I had the same relationship with Greg, man. We was like, hanging on Albany and Union Street like crazy fools, man. And then us and in my park, and I'm gonna take ownership. Albany Park is my park.
Right.
It's Ice Park.
And Ice was the protege through that process.
Right.
He was a
Absolutely.
student. And it's even funny how all of you have different attributes that bring who you are to the forefront. Ice being a student, Mike being, the girls love you, Mike, by the way. And
Oh, gee, thank you. Well,
Oh,
gee.
no,
Yeah, you put that on the
I'm getting
Zoom
some
feed.
cheerleaders are like asking about you, bro.
Uh-oh.
I'm dead serious.
Ah,
I am dead serious, man.
That's incredible.
well, gee,
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah.
Yo, look. Hold on, E. That's that tech around the world.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and they're not even in New York, and they were talking about you, man. So, and then my relationship with Les is like, I'm literally in diapers because our parents were friends.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for Les, I would never play basketball, and that's what nobody knows. If it wasn't for Les Miller, I would have never played basketball.
That's
First
heavy.
game I ever played in, he tapped the ball to me. I caught the ball at right at the circle at half court, turned around and threw the ball like a baseball at the basket. So
Hey,
it was-
Lester, you friends with on Facebook with the guys like Shed and Clyde and all of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm friends with them too.
I went down to see Clyde, man. I went to Bowie State one time to
Right.
see my
Yeah,
granddad was playing against Bowie State a couple years.
I used to see him every year. He used to come to my son when he played Division II. Their tournament was always at UDC.
Yeah.
Right.
Clyde came to see me every year because my son and them made it every year to the championship.
okay.
Clyde was there.
What school?
And Clyde was the AD at New
Still
York
is.
Tech, right?
Yeah, he was assistant. Then he was
Oh,
the
right.
AD, and he left, and now he's at Bowie.
Okay. Where'd your son play at, Mike?
St. Thomas Aquinas up in Rockland County.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yo,
Division
he's
two.
the best guy in New York, man. Brooklyn boy. Yo, E. That's the best guy in New York, quiet as it's kept.
Oh, okay. There you go. And it's important to understand, like somebody mentioned about the social media thing, that gave us even more of an opportunity, but it opened up so many doors for us all to be able to talk. There's as far as I know, and I do, camps and stuff, nowhere else in this country is there a camaraderie of this magnitude. Even without this project, the guys that played against each other in a time frame are still communicating with each other. And a lot of things attribute to that. Still being in the city, playing in 50 and over the years, you still, you're seeing these guys.
Yeah.
Facebook and every other social media platform are giving you an opportunity just to reach out. And even if it's, you make who you want to have friends, but this
Right.
opportunity, nowhere else, you don't have people in the Charlotte region focusing on guys they played against 40 years ago and still talking with them, opponents and teammates.
Yeah.
It hardly
Right.
ever happens. And it's really a blessing to be able to do this because there's some positive things coming out of this, and the relationships are real. They're not phony. They have value, and I'm proud to say, in my personal opinion, I'm proud to be able to participate in this because you guys have rekindled some happiness in my life, just this project alone. So, in closing on all of this, I want to know, what do you guys individually think about this project that's going on? So let's start with you, Greg.
Oh, like I said before, this is an amazing thing, man. Kudos and hats off to you and Craig Booth for doing this. I think it was necessary. And anytime like you said, you can get a group of people together to speak about an experience in an era that's impacted and so impacted a lot of people's lives that in and of itself, you can't argue with that. And I, for one, I'm happy that I'm part of it. When I heard about this, I was excited. I mean, I've been brimming with excitement since I, had the opportunity to know we were going to be able to share experiences. I just think it's great. It's near and dear to all of us because it's something that we lived, we breathed, and I'm just happy that we have an opportunity. When I say we, not just Brooklyn Tech, but all the folks that this has touched upon, have an opportunity to share this experience. I appreciate it, and thank you.
All right. Well, Ice, come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, same here. And it's just always good to get together, have like a real positive reflection. I know for so many of us, we're what I would call first generation. I know damn well Anthony didn't grow up in a house like that. I didn't grow up in a house like this. Provide these opportunities to our families, and just try to keep it going. Like I said, there's a lot of untold stories, so please feel free to keep digging, because I think it was a special time.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
All right, Gil, and make it short, bro.
I like I said, the main importance of it to me is, and like I said, I want to try and get this written down some kind of way to express it, is that our lives in this tough time, this tough political times, these tough times of sickness and and doubt and everything in America, it's important that we chronicle our experiences so that the world knows that our lives have value. There's value in everything that we went through, and it's a great story that will inspire and inform the people that are coming up behind us. And I think that's the most important thing about the documentary. It just will show the happiness, the love, the comradeship, and the importance of the lives that we shared from 1975 to 85. And it's just a beautiful story. And I thank you guys. I think it's a stroke of genius, like I told you, I think it's a stroke of genius by y'all to do this and put the damn article up when we beat fucking Hamilton.
Hey, and that's genius, and we didn't go to Tech. You got to give us some kudos on that.
Exactly.
What about you, Kev? What you got?
To me, it's kind of hard to argue. I'm sure there will be an argument about it, but I'd have to say that those years of basketball are like the golden era of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so many professional players, so many great collegiate players came from that era.
Mm-hmm.
There were so many that didn't make it to either college or professional that were great players that came through that era. It was a stroke. It was actually a stroke of genius. I mean, the first time I heard about it, it made it. I got into the whole process of it. It's a stroke of genius. And still, even watching each of the posts, I became like one of the highest posting people there because I used to like everything, because everything I saw was actually something that brought back some memory of of Brooklyn basketball, and I owe a lot to Brooklyn basketball. I owe the fact that I was able to get out of East New York, to Brooklyn basketball. I owe a lot to Anthony Gill, keeping Gil Reynolds from killing me every week. It allowed me to actually leave the state and actually travel and do things that none of my parents ever could dream about. So great project.
Appreciate it.
Thank you,
All right,
Lou.
Mike, what you got, Mike?
Well, I mean, everybody pretty much touched upon, I mean, these guys covered everything. I'm just happy to be a part of the project, the Brooklyn Tech family. I mean, ball side, middle, everything as a whole. I'm just glad that I'm a part of it. I mean, you guys are my brothers. I looked up to all of you guys growing up, still do. You all had a major impact on my life, believe it or not. And hey, I love you guys. Thanks.
Love you too.
Thank you.
Love you too, bro.
Love you too, Mike.
Big
All right,
fucking
Les,
Les, man.
you gotta say something positive, Les. You gotta say
Where's
something
Leslie?
positive. I know you bigger than me, but I might be able to take you now.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure, Lou. You think I'm strong, motherfucker. No,
That's a less I know.
this is really a great thing that you guys are doing, man. And what I really appreciate is my daughter's 21, man, and I got scrapbooks, I got pictures, and da-da-da. But we don't have no video. You know what I mean? So if I can go to put my grandnephew's name in Google, and I'll see 25 games and shit. Put my name in there, you see 2 articles or some shit like that, man. So this project, I want her to see it. I want her to hear people talk about me and whatever, and to know that I wasn't lying, and the damn newspaper articles wasn't lying either.
Very true.
And just trying to tell her that there was so many people just like me that we were doing our thing, 'Cause I think she asked me, how come you only played 1 year in high school? See, I can't explain that to her. I try, but when she can hear you guys say, yeah, man, that coach sucked. That's why he ain't play. Then she said, okay, they all can't be wrong,
Right.
And I think
Exactly.
something that you can pass down, man, and it's gonna be live forever.
Right.
And so that's why I'm glad to be a part of this,
Legacy.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Well,
Hey,
listen, guys,
hey,
go ahead,
Eric,
go ahead, Greg.
before you sign off, real quick, and this is because we're all brainiacs, so I'm sure everybody's thinking about this. But is there any issues with this documentary about waivers or anything that we have to be involved with? Signing anything?
Actually, being that it's a documentary, no.
Okay.
If it was a full length movie, then there would have to be certain things that you have to get cleared through the Actors Guild and certain rules that are governing the process. So
Okay.
documentary type of issue is no different than watching Earth on BBC, where they're taking pictures of whales, and the whales aren't signing any contracts. So
Okay.
so there's no liability with respect to that. So no.
Okay. You can edit that part out there.
Yeah, no, we'll leave it as is, man. This way I won't get that question again later, okay? But I want to tell all of y'all, man, and I'm pretty sure most of y'all that know me know that this will be the case, that I'm very appreciative of you guys, number one, participating in this. I have relationships with all of y'all, and I love y'all. I want y'all to all be safe, and I want to show my gratitude for participating so that we can get this story out. Just to give you guys some quick info on this, for me, and why I got involved in the project is because Craig came to me somewhere around January or February and asked me, told me about the project, asked me to support it. And I waited a week, and I did some research, and I came back to him and said, not only can I support this project with you, but I can help because I can't let you fail, because I don't want you to tell this story incorrectly. I want everything to be told in a proper manner, because it's vital to tell the truth, that people can see what I had already believed after doing my own research, this is like a great era and a great concept, as all y'all feel the same way. And so through that end, everything has come to this point. And to let you guys know, it's not really just, it's Craig's story through his eyes, but the opportunity to be able to tell a story with his homeboys, and that means all of us that have played, to step in and share their view and their part of the story, so that people can get a true feeling and flavor of what we all went through. The camaraderie, the wins, the losses, the injuries, the successes, the education, the building of our families, the building of our communities, and to lead through in our communities for everyone. A lot of these young guys, they have no idea, what we went through. The game has changed, but the process never changes. That you have to be a good person, good citizen, through the end of being a good athlete. So hopefully we'll get that message across to everyone. And once again, I want to thank you guys for the opportunity to interview you all. And at that point, I'm going to end the video.